Lyrics by Marvin Gaye. Trying to think Anna Gordy Gay, performed by the Miracles. Tonight, I'm going to give my attempt at raising your love vibration. Baby, baby, you don't understand how much I love you, baby. And I want to be your only man. Baby, 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 you don't have to go. Stay around a little longer, baby. I want to talk to you just a little more. I can see the ears in your eyes about to fall. You are wondering if I'm for real. But if you want to know the truth about it, girl, I can't live without it. That's why I'm confessing my love to you. I want to live my whole life with you, baby, baby, baby. All right. You know how I do it. CBD lotion. Now, shit, they're about to legalize this shit. Democrats figure, liberals figure they legalize weed. Everybody in the world will vote for them. All right, I got the shit here to get started. Oh, I half wanted to play. uh, I don't. The Blue Argonite for y'all. Raise your vibrations high. I'll put my armor on. And here we go. So if y'all ain't never checked me out, I go by the name of the master. No, this is Big Pontiac. I also am Adwin. I am also the Time Lord. So this is the Chocolate Mountain Show. Welcome if you've never watched this before. Damn, I'm rhyming like a motherfucker tonight. But I'm the holder of the sacred infinite ball game created by the Hero Twins. I am also that galactic daddy-o welcoming me each and every one of the chocolate mountaineers to the galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And tonight's beer is Excelsior Bitter Schwab's Munich Brown Ale. Pop 'em if you got 'em. I just hit my bong before I came in here, so I'm pretty lit. Every day I'm lit. Every day I'm lit. You can't tell me shit, because every day, oh, that's something different. That was a different vibration. Look at that brown goodness. Don't you wish you were me? Don't you wish you were me? Don't you wish you were me right now? Drinking Excelsior Bitter Switzer. And you know, I know a lot of people do like smoking bud over the air, but I do wax. And my handheld Wolf Evolve XL is a super throat killer. So it's easier with the water-filled bongs. So pop them if you got them. Smoke them if you want them. Let's see, who are the party people on the Sunday night? Who are the party people? Brother E, what is happening? Thank you for joining. I am on. Oh, I am on the patio. Greetings, Barbara Grady. Come on down. Brother Lobo, thank you for joining me. Nicole B in the place to be. Cultivation of the magic stick keeps from becoming a trick and a lick. Right on. I want to give this to everybody, but Brother Ed would appreciate this. It was some deep meditations. I had plenty of time, and I'll get into that. It's some. Yeah, I'll share the shit. But the transformation, they call it the Were Baby, but it's the transformation into the Panther consciousness. And you see, this is the transformation. This is straight up omen. You can't get any more omen than this. This is kind of what they studied and what the spiritual people tried to push to give you that Panther energy. And it's like tonight I was really trying hard to push into it, really bring it on. And but wasn't feeling like it was like a lot of success, just like really concentrated, really trying to get into it. And yeah, next thing I know, I am damn full freaking Panther face. And that's all I was able to achieve. But it was just like, it's like, it was funny how it evolved. It was like I was really trying to concentrate, bringing it in. And then it just like evolved. Like it just really just, and I just felt my whole face transforming. And it was just my face, but wasn't full, but it was like my face transferred into the Panther energy. And so that was kind of cool. But I'll even share this. This shit was really wild. So it's like I don't know what was in the air. What someone last night said what planets is moving, but it's something moving a lot of spiritual energy because the Tsar shit is really getting, or I should say, my control of the Tsar shit is really getting excellent. Now, something I haven't really shared with people. One advantage, and I don't think I've ever said this before, but when you're talking about the Tsar, and I talked about the TV show that was on in the probably late '80s, where the dude possessed people every week. Let's say what it is. This motherfucker possessed people every week. Okay, and that's really was part of desire, really part of desire. But the point I think a lot of people missed is you can possess people in the past. And I don't know if I've ever said that before, but you can literally go in the past and possess people. I mean, this is what his show showed you over and over again. He went to different time periods and he possessed people. So it is more than possible to see through someone's eyes that has roamed this earth before. Now again, but well, yeah, I'll say that. I won't say any quantifiers. And let me tell you how deep. I'm gonna pat my motherfucking self on the back. How deep it gets. So I started playing a lot of love music, really trying to push these vibrations high, and it did. From me just using, like, I have a mother stone, and let me tell you, I have a big stilomite, and it's on top of this, and stibolite. I'm gonna have to look it up how to say it right. But anyway, it is the strongest zoolite, and it is on top of green. With green is more rare, populite. And so this thing, just as I picked it up, because it's about this big, I picked it up, it just immediately hit the third eye, and I just felt that energy coming in. And so I changed from listening to winter storm sounds, and I started just getting into love music. I was playing all the music I play, Walk On by Isaac Hayes, and just a lot of high vibrational old R&B. And so, as I went, as something that I've said many times, and it's like Dr. Omar Johnson. He said some good things about how our children are medicated. ADHD, ADD, all that stuff. That was, I mean, and I think the point is that sometimes these brothers come in and these brothers do give useful little bits that we can take. And so this was, I was reflecting on, even though King was, he was 1-800 beat a white hoe in a minute. I mean, that was his thing. He would rent out prostitutes, and they knew that they was going to get a little ass whooping. I guess he took the civil rights on the prostitute's ass. But there were some valuable things. His speech alone on just talking about what they did to the Europeans that they gave the free land to in the Midwest is priceless. Malcolm's speech, The Ballad of the Bullet, several others, valuable stuff in there. So despite these dudes really working for the government, there were some things that they did that was helpful. I mean, you can't dismiss everything. You can't say because he's an agent that everything was terrible, because there was a little bit, there was some positive out of it too. And I think even in our own culture, exposing people, we now Jesse Jackson's exceptions. Fuck him. Fuck everything he ever did. That's a vulture motherfucking evil, wicked motherfucker. Not even evil. I ain't gonna get it to him. He's wicked. So I wanted to put that in there a little bit, as we hate on these people. Discernment, and it's Brother PJ, what's happening? And so before I get into the sports, I do got one more thing. And so, and then I'll move on to the sports shit. So yeah, so I was thinking about all these historical figures and kind of pushing the Tsar envelope a little bit, and I motherfucking like JFK came in my consciousness, and I saw him. I looked and I saw him, and the next thing I know, I'm walking in the fucking, I think I was in the White House, and I fucking czarred in his ass. And I actually saw some moments of walking in the fucking 1960s White House through this motherfucking eyes. Oh, that shit was and I'm gonna almost say the shit was kind of scary, because I'm like, damn, that was easy to do. I mean, that's what scared me. The shit was so easy to do. The shit scared me. I mean, it literally is like, I remember seeing it like through his eyes. And what happens is the shit comes in, and then the shit gets like clear. And it's like the clearness, though, it don't stay. And then like, even as it's fading away, you can kind of still see a little bit of what it was. But it was like that shit came in, and I'm walking down the hall being this motherfucker, greeting motherfuckers. And I'm like, whoa. And then I thought, and as I said, the shit was kind of scary because I did it really easy. So the shit was like, God damn, the shit was scary, but I did that shit really easy just by thinking about this motherfucker. So pat your motherfucking boy on the back. The shit is getting serious. We fucking with you. Hey, Carrie, thank you. So we all can do this. Now I'll get into how I'm not gonna take my hat off tonight, but anybody, I am like I've had to sell all my clothes and all my belongings because I lost again tonight. So yeah, I'm not doing too good. I lost again tonight. Paige and the Connecticut Huskies could not handle the onslaught of South Carolina. South Carolina put their foot in their ass. UConn had 5 turnovers in no. Yes, 5 turnovers in the first quarter alone. 5. By the middle of the second quarter, they had 7 turnovers. By halftime, they had 10. In the first half, they gave up 10 offensive rebounds. 10 offensive rebounds. And so it was by 2 minutes left in the half before halftime, it was 4 turnovers. And that's really the only time they made a run was right before halftime. They got it in within 8. But you had 4 turnovers, 10 turnovers to 4. Now, one of the biggest letdowns, couple, but Fudd, who's in that commercial with Iverson and Blue, isn't that the coach's name where they're doing that shit? Fudd, she's, I think, the only college player that had a major commercial. She was averaging 12. She hit 1 3 the whole game. The offensive rebound in the game advantage was 18-4. By third quarter, Anderson. Now that young woman player Anderson had a hell of a game. I saw one shot that was probably manipulated, but she was like taking them to the hoop, like just taking them quick as shit. She hit 5 or 6 threes, but she shot a bunch of layups. She had a hell of a game. Number 4, please forgive me. She was player of the year. She was the one. But Anderson finished with 24 or 26. I think she made one more basket. So it was a good game. It was a good game. Paige didn't have any help. Again, they played them before, and it played the same way. They played them in November, and it really turned out the same way. Offensive rebounds was killer. Dawn Staley got her second championship for South Carolina. Both championships are out of her, so it was a good game. Paige just didn't have enough. Again, Fudd. It was one more woman that didn't score. Williams was averaging 14 points a game, and she scored 0. She was a starter. Fudd only scored 3. So right there, you had a total of 26 points. People didn't score. So Paige didn't have any help. Paige had about 18. I think she finished with 18, but she couldn't do it alone. Plus, they were horrible at rebounding. So it was a good game. I mean, that Henderson, oh my goodness, I thought she should have been the MVP, but they gave it to the big girl, who was also player of the year. So hats off to South Carolina. It was a really good game, I thought. I thought it was a good game. Yeah. So Marcus the Great, what is happening? So I thought that was a really outstanding game, getting ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow I don't think the line has changed. I am taking the 4, and I don't see where I wrote the under and over. I wrote it down somewhere, but it's not here. I don't know if you guys saw this today, and I'll tell this story. As you know, I went to North Carolina A&T, but to tell the full story, my father's ex-girlfriend went to Winston-Salem State, grew up from there, and when I was in 5th grade, I went with him to North Carolina, and she showed me A&T. I don't even know why. She didn't go to A&T, but she drove me to Greensboro. She said, "I want you to see A&T," and she took me to A&T. And that was the first time I went down there, was when I was in 5th grade. And then she took me where she went to school, to Winston-Salem State. Now, she went to school with Earl Monroe. Now, if you watched me a couple weeks ago, we had a thing, should Earl Monroe be a top 75 player? He was also a top 50 player. But I bring this up because today CBS did a beautiful, beautiful thing on that season. If you don't know who Clarence Big House Gaines is, he coached about 40 years at North Carolina State. Those that watched the Simp, Kwame Brown talking about Stephen A. Smith getting his coach who recruited him. Big House recruited Stephen A. Smith. He didn't have many offers. Big House recruited him, and because Smith stopped playing. He got hurt too, but he stopped playing. He wasn't getting the minutes. He tried to get Big House fired. Now, in his defense, I will say Big House was about 1,000 years old at the time. But CBS did a very beautiful article on that season. Now, as I said, my father's girlfriend, who, rest in peace, Phyllis Clemens, she got murdered some years ago, back like 83, 84. But so Phyllis knew Earl, went with him. Like, Earl was probably a player back then, but knew him. And if you don't know that Earl to Pearl in 66, I believe, and the Winston State Rams was the first, as they said, black college to win any division. They won. They beat, gosh, who did they beat? I forget now. Evansville. They beat Evansville in the championship. Was the first time any major black college had won a major championship in 1966. Earl filled it up. So it was a very beautiful tribute of that season. They showed several players, but let me tell you what I did. And I've mentioned this before. Phyllis just gave me her yearbooks, and I cut them up, and I cut all these pictures of Earl Monroe from this championship team instead of just keeping all the yearbooks, because I was a scrapbooker, cutting pictures out the papers and shit. And I cut all her yearbooks up, every picture of those championship teams from her senior year, 66, because Earl was the same age. And yeah, I had hacked all her yearbooks up. So it was nice to see that tribute. It was really, if anybody saw that today, that was a very, very nice tribute. What we saying? What do you got, Lobo? 52% took UNC money line. I did. 54% took Kansas to cover. Yeah, I definitely took Carolina. Hey, B Brown, what's happening? That's why Stephen A. Smith's a resentment for ball players. Yeah, of course, he was a failed ball player. Hey, researcher, what's happening? Yeah, Paige also lost at home. Yep, absolutely, she lost at home. Yeah, Kansas ain't fitting to cover. No, Kansas not gonna cover. We look at most championship games. Most championship games tend to be close. I'd be very surprised that this game's not going to be close. I kind of think Kansas is going to pull it out, but I don't think Kansas is going to cover. And then again, you never know. They just might give it to Davis. I just would be totally surprised, but I've seen crazier things. So Davis just might get it. I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Davis. So yeah, get your money out, and there we go. Get your money out, and if that is gambling is your thing, and you think you got it all figured out. Oh, here we go. You might can hit or be freaking like me and need to pass the hat around. My hat's still very light, everybody. I've passed it around about 20 times and can't even get a nickel. But that's all right. I will endure. Oh, yes, and there's some unopening shit. Yes. I'll talk more politics and unopening and shit. There we go. Oh, and let me tell you, it is freaking snowing. We got a damn inch or two on the ground right now. I looked out the window, and I got to get up early and do some. I got therapy in the freaking morning. And so, yeah, I looked outside and it does not look good out there. There was a CBS article that said expect the camera to be on Roy Williams often. Yeah, it's definitely a tribute to him. Now, it's a tribute to him. He lost some of those titles with Dean Smith, especially the one to Marquette. Um, but he was on the staff when they won against Georgetown. Georgetown was, I think, favored with Ewing to win. And of course, if you remember that game, the first three shots, Ewing goaltended and gave Carolina free points. And then his excuse was John Thompson told him to block all the shots, to intimidate. Davis in that press conference when he took over saying he loves yes, he loves his European wife. Absolutely, absolutely. He had to get that in. Like the dude last night said he got the special on HBO. The dude on Saturday Night Live. He said he had the special on HBO. This fucker, he said, well, I came out too. So that's what it takes. You had to come out to get a special on HBO. You had to come out. He came out, he says he came out gay the night of his HBO special. That's when he told America. So do you see, like, was he gay, like, because he had to do something to the executive? I mean, is that what it was? And then, of course, he's doing the hidden hand. I mean, when they raced my channel, I did a thing. I got Reggie Miller good. I got Reggie Miller just like, I don't know if everybody ever, I bet this nigga name last night, King Dolo. He's always throwing signs and shit and saying what the shit means. But I got Reggie Miller doing that shit like King Dolo. I had him on my other channel. But Eddie Murphy, I don't know if y'all remember last season, Eddie Murphy, I think, opened up Saturday Night Live. Not the season now, but the season before. He was full of throwing signals. And of course, we see broke ass Jabbar, super sellout now. One thing about that HBO special, Jabbar did not like these motherfuckers. Jabbar wouldn't talk to these motherfuckers. He barely did interviews, and he was blackballed. He was blackballed from coaching because of his attitude. Like I said this last night, a lot like Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, very similar. Gerald Carmichael, I saw one of his specials and fell asleep 5 minutes. Nicole. Yeah, Nicole, definitely. And so we see that the things that people will do to serve the beast and get this shit now. Don't have anything to do with your soul. Don't have anything to try to raise your vibration, to only have it right now, to get earthly riches. I think being a good person is better than being a famous person. Because I've known famous people that wasn't shit. I mean, really wasn't shit. They wasn't good people. Now, I've known famous people that's real good people. So you can't really throw them into one boat. But I've known famous people that wasn't shit. I've known ball players that really wasn't shit. I knew ball players that, should I tell this story? I knew, and I've never told this story before. I ain't gonna say his name, but he did win a ring for the Lakers. And he did play with Magic in '79. He did go to Marquette. He did play in the ABA. He did wear number 9 for the Lakers. But this motherfucker was a crackhead, This motherfucker was a crackhead. 3-4 years before him being a crackhead, this motherfucker in the NBA rich. And then with the 3 years, this nigga was broke. I ain't gonna say his name. I did say his number, though. Do your homework. Played with the Nets from Marquette. And, now he's since cured, but back then he wasn't. And I had to boot him in the face and kick him down some motherfucking stairs. Like, you're not getting shit. And this just shows you how, what they say about the NFL. within 5 years of NFL, NBA, some players are broke. Oh, there he is. My man. Great interview. If you guys didn't watch Siova's interview with Super Sly, go back and check it out. It's pretty good information. Pretty good information. And you know how I feel about him and Keep a Techie and all the Tex guys, AM1. I just think for people that are serious into getting to this, I think we put a community where we have assets that, depending on how far you want to go with it, these assets are valuable. So I think that's important for the younger people that want to pursue this. I mean, there's some free information they put out there, and I think that's just totally positive. You know how we do, man. We that's how we do. You know? And I don't come here like, even what I said about Brother Jim, and I ain't gonna say his last name, Jones, but even him, you know, he ended up being positive. He got his shit together. You know, y'all probably don't know who that nigga is. But I don't really come here to bash anybody. I think this is really, just like I said on Positive Daddy Hour, it's really just to build people up for the most part. I mean, you know, of course, people that ain't shit gonna get the ain't shit kind of thing, but people that do something positive for the community, and that's what I think. That's one thing that we have to look at this as we can create our own community of people that have reliable, useful information. I mean, that's what it should be all about. I mean, I watched a war with the indigenous against, you know, them Pan-Africans, and it got really ugly at a certain point. But infiltration, as I said, I watched a lot of them. I've said this before, and I'm gonna keep saying I watched a lot of them Hebrew Israelites take the place of the Pan-Africans under the guise of being woodland Indians or indigenous, however you want to call it. But the sad part it is, well, like, I think Truth Teller told it the most. You know, you took one group of swindlers away, and a new group of swindlers replaced them. And too often we see that amongst each other. Now, I can't really say I've ever been beat by brothers. Not really. I never put myself in that position where I could be had. As I've said, my best friend in Miami, one deal they tried to do with me, I go down there to get one of them keys about 12. You know, they about 30, 25, about 25, 26 in Michigan. I'm in Miami looking to get them at 12. And the dude really asked me, like, well, give me the money, I'll be back. That's some shit you do for a $10 bag of weed. You don't do that with $12,000. And, you know, this is my best friend's guy, and I see where they was trying to run some shit on me. So I could say, but again, I was too smart and too seasoned to fall for that stupid shit. So I haven't really allowed myself to be cheated like that. Now, I can say plenty of Europeans have cheated me. I mean, plenty of them. One lady cheated me, and the only way I could get her back is I flattened her tires while she was at work. She cheated me. Yeah, she did. She got me. She got me good. But I did flatten her tires at work. But no really major losses like that. No really major losses. I'm pretty good at spotting people that have that in them. I'm pretty good about that. So I don't come here to bash anyone. It doesn't benefit me to bash anyone. Now I call everybody motherfucker, except the women out there. I don't call them that. I do accidentally say bitch and hoe sometime, but not speaking about anybody that would be watching, about someone that's totally you don't know. So please, no disrespect to anybody. That's just kind of how my flow goes. And I guess I do try to bring some spiritual solutions, because we are seeing tough times. I mean, we see like I talk about in 1985, my goal was to make, what was it? $500 a week which basically came to, I think, 24,000 a year. Maybe my math's a little off, but I think that's what it was. Well, that same money now, as a person's goal back in 85, 86 to make 25, by 2005, the goal was to make 50. So you needed to make 1,000 a week, roughly, to get around 50. And then around 10 or 11, it was 75. And then around 17, 18, kind of the comfortable goal was to make about 100 a year. That was the comfortable goal. And so that's how you were gauging. And that was good. Until all this Floyd shit and all this pandemic shit, that was good. But now you see with inflation, you see how even though they raised the rates and the price of everything went up. So it's a sucker move. Unfortunately, I've been cheated by a lot of melanated folks. That's a stain. That's really a stain, you know. And probably, you know, people took advantage of you too. People took advantage of you. And you probably just being a gentleman instead of just like busting them out. Look, I need money before we start. I understand that straight up, because probably just being cool with people, you know, do the work instead of just busting people out, say, hey, I need the money first up. I need the money before we even get started, or you need to put half in. Because a lot of times if people put half in, that makes them, but that's, you know, probably you chalk some of that up to experience too. And not being more direct with people. Because I've had excuses. I've had excuses where, you know, it's like thousands of dollars on the line, especially hustling. Motherfucker like start fidgeting and shit and like, yeah, okay, I'm about to go. And then motherfucker start pulling all that green out. Or motherfuckers fidgeting on not wanting to do the deal. And then you like start pulling that green out and it's like the deal goes through because they start seeing that money, they'll start wanting to deal. So I understand. And that probably taught you and made you very distrustful, which I understand. I do understand. Don't think I don't. Because I see it. I've watched people cheat other people. I once rented a house from a dude, and the dude was like, it was like a second party renting a house. I had just moved here, just renting a house while I'm moving here till I was able to get a house. And I had paid this dude maybe I had paid him, you know, you had to pay the deposit, and then you had to pay rent. And then it was in the next month. I have a motherfucker come to my door and say he owned the house. What happened to dude? What happened to dude? Like I ain't seen him. So this dude who he hired to rent the house out took my money and never paid him. Never paid him. Let me tell you why I dodged that shit. I was about to buy this house in Michigan, fairly good money. And the payment down was like 95 cash, or no, 75,000 cash was my initial payment. And I just had an uneasy feeling. They had moved out and everything. I was about to do it, and just something made me back out. I just backed out in the last minute. Somebody else took her deal, and this, let me see, what was it? Because I always, looking at the paperwork, I always saw another name. And I kept saying, wait a minute, doesn't he have to be here to sign this? Because I'm looking at the paperwork, I'm thinking, wait a minute, this says him. Doesn't he have to be here to sign? And she was like, no, that's my brother-in-law or whoever it was. And she was like, no, he doesn't have to be here. And I'm like, why? He's on the paperwork. So I saw that and I pulled back one day and I was like, yeah. And then I called the realtor like, yeah, I'm not going to go through with this. There's something going on. To come to find out, someone else had got the house from her, and instead of paying the payments, this chick kept a year worth of payments, and the payments wasn't cheap. It was like probably $2,000 a month. If the way that the person she ended up giving the house to was like $2,000 a month for her deal. She didn't have the 75. She paid $2,000 a month, and she kept it. She kept all the money. She did not give her family member any of the money. So just like the dude came to my house and said, you know, I haven't seen so-and-so, so you owe 3 months rent and the deposit. And so you can be, you know, kind of be by anybody. You can kind of be by anybody. Let's see. You can control being a good person. Most celebrities end up losing control of their fame by handing it over to handlers. Yeah, well, or they're not smart enough not to be with handlers. A good point. Yeah, it's been a learning experience. I learned and reflected, and that's all you can do. You get rid of that bitterness and move on. That's all you can do. Get rid of it and move on. That reminds me of the hucksters and pandering con artists on YouTube. Brother Polite, Umar Johnson, Kevin Samuels. Yeah, it's a lot of that. It's a lot of that. But I mean, people pay for it. So that happened to me with an apartment. Yeah. So, I had to come up with all this goddamn money at the time that, I'm saving and shit. And I wasn't hustling no more. When I moved here, I wasn't hustling no more. So that shit like hit like my deep savings, but I was able to pull through it. So it wasn't like I could have taken a big hit giving that chick 75,000, and then a year, in 12 months, motherfucker knock on my door, and I'm thinking, I done bought this house, and I'm thinking, I've got everything going. Then the motherfucker knock on my door, and like, hey, where's this money for this year? So I was lucky. I was lucky I didn't get cheated by her because I just paid attention to the paperwork. I was like, this dude ain't here. It's like, there's no way you can transfer this property to me without him here. And I didn't care what any of them said. I knew. I looked at his name. I said, without him here, we can't do this. And they're like, no, well, yeah. No, it says this motherfucker owns this shit right here. They're like, no, but it did have her name too. It had her name too, but it also had his name. So it was like I pulled out of it and was lucky that I did. Lucky that I did, and that was back when I did have it. And so, you have to be aware. And I'll say this: sometimes it does hurt you being nice, but when it comes to business, you can't really be nice. You have to be direct. When you apply to services, you have to spell it out, write it out, however you want to do it. It's like when I used to ref, I used to give them contracts. Like when I first came here, I did several. I did Target. In the Target Center, I did the Target League when I first moved. A couple other leagues, gave them contracts. This is what I'm gonna do. This is what I expect. And it was funny how they paid me. Don't you know I was getting checks until like the 14th or 15th game. They were still giving me freaking checks. It was so funny. I was like getting checks one at a time and shit. So it was kind of funny. I mean, sometime I'd get like 15 checks. Because it was, gosh, I think it was like 8 or 10 teams. It was quite a big tournament. It was 3 games a night that I had to do. 3, and we went almost 2.5 months. I mean, it was about 15 games. So you break those. It's about 15 games. So you break up those weeks. So, but that's just kind of how you have to do it. I've never refed a game where I didn't get paid. I never, I would always, as I said, I did a game where nobody wanted to do in Chicago between gangs, and nobody wanted to do it, and we got paid good money for that. And they paid us right when we started. Like, we got these games, can't nobody. The dude I went with, we went up to Gary, did the games. And we got paid good money, almost $3,000, I think, for 2 games. But again, it was like them gangs. Y'all know Chicago got them gangs, and it was them real gangs. It wasn't that paper or TV shit. These was the real mugs, but they hoop. They hoop. But a lot of people wouldn't want to go into that. A lot of people wouldn't have the nerve. Shit, when you would referee in Detroit, you couldn't turn your back because you went to the baseline. It was people standing there. So you stood sideways. You'd be on the court. But you wouldn't want to have your back and the team is losing and you got your back to these fans. Hell no. I watched some referees get beat up when I was young. Benton Harbor played some team, I don't remember, but they got cheated in the district and they caught the referee. And I just happened to be standing like the stairway to go up to the next level. They caught him like he was nowhere he could go. And they beat the shit out that referee. That's why now in Michigan, during tournament games, the referees are escorted out by police. But back then they weren't. And these Benton Harbor fans caught both these refs and beat the shit out of them. And I'm like looking on from the stairway down at these people just stomping out these two cheating ass refs. They deserved it. In Godfather 2, Michael makes a $60 million deal with the Vatican. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Welcome, SD. What was that Fat Joe movie where John Larrocanzo, he gives that cat all that money to invest in the dude? As I said last night, the dude, he thought he had a penthouse and it was all just show. And people still do that. People will rent out a house, rent out a house. Or if people make movies, they'll rent out the place to make the movie. Why do you think blacks gravitate to drama so much? When you have a history of drama, it's hard to break it. It's hard to break it. It's hard to break it. Matter of fact, this will get into some of that. Have an unboxing today. And I didn't bring any of my damn knives. I think I can rip it open. It's a book, so it's no. Oh shit! This motherfucker's in. This is a library book. God damn! Right the fuck on. Look at this shit. Look at that. Got the plastic on it. This was in the library somewhere. Yeah, Berlin Public Library. All right. This book is called The Bloody Shirt. This talks about the terror after Appomattox. Now, the question was just talked about, why are we involved in drama so much? But if you go to our true history, the true terror started really right after Reconstruction. They told the lies about how we governed the South and how we did benefit. And they turned Reconstruction into mass incarceration. Because a lot of times, if you weren't on the plantation, what are they called? Lottering. Lottering, it wasn't that word, but that's what it means. Lottering would get you arrested. You'd get a 90 days. You'd have to work. And then we had the White League, the legal arm, and that is not talked about a lot. What the White League did against us was the court cases. The Klan was the arm. But see, what you have to understand, what happened is, Sly broke it out, and I've talked about it a lot. The Europeans that was enslaved, as they was called, the poor white trash. Again, look at Gone with the Wind. Don't talk to them. That's poor white trash. These were the people that were put in charge. As I've said before, the start of the Civil War, what the North's aim was to get rid of Protestants. And in mass numbers, they killed Protestants in Kentucky, Tennessee. Mass numbers. And so a lot of people that got freed were these poor white trash. Now, what you saw afterwards was this poor white trash armed. And putting together rifle clubs. And you see Wilmington. I mean, this is right after Reconstruction. This is way before Tulsa. And of course, the way they tried to kill all of us that served in World War I. The bloody summer of 1919. I've talked about that many times. And so you say, why are we so full of drama? This is what we faced. I mean, just think about it like this. You move off a farm, you got so much money, you move into the north because factories are hiring. You got terror in the South to steal the land. Dane Calloway was saying, you got your children registering you to vote, which forfeited land. So you save so much money, you find a place to save, and you find a swindler, and this person swindles you in Chicago, and you up there with you and your family. I mean, do you know how often that probably happened? You know, you used to be in the South. And just like we saw, as I've got these books that tell about the Woodland Indians, and with Tecumseh and Pontiac tried to say, hey, if we don't fight these motherfuckers, they ain't gonna never stop. These treaties we sign, they are all lies. They've broken every one. They don't mean anything. Just because they promise you this, they promise you that. Well, what did the Romans teach the world? Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. So when you have a group of people that don't know true abundance, not in numbers, not true abundance in numbers, and the only people that will really deal with you is your own kind, you find you start swindling, unfortunately, with no emotion on how you hurt them, because they're stupid people too. You know, there are stupid people that will hurt you for a benefit. They're bandits. They hurt you for a benefit. Stupid people. And in some reasons, in some ways, we don't recognize that they're stupid. So this is why. This is why we see that kind of thing. Lack of abundance, lack of opportunity. Remember teaching that to my children. Pale Horse, you got Kansas? No, I'm taking Carolina and I'm taking the points. UNC wins. If UNC wins, that'll be cool. It'll make a little bit of the money. Michael Jordan. What do you think about Colonel Sanders? You know, Colonel Sanders fucked around. What was the dude from Wendy's? He fucked him over. He really fucked him over. You know, the chicken bucket, that come from the Wendy's dude. The Wendy's dude had a business, maybe Utah, I don't know, but he had a drive-in theater. And from his drive-in theater closing, he had all these buckets. So when he goes into business with Colonel Sanders, he's like, fuck, let's get rid of these goddamn buckets I got. And that's why they started putting the chicken in the buckets. And he ended up screwing Dave, whatever Dave was, and Dave ended up creating Wendy's. But it just shows you how they did each other. I mean, something that's still one of their staples today, somebody else invented. And we see that over and over again. George Washington Carver not benefiting from teaching Henry Ford the production line that so many do today. And the person I talk about, and I should look up his name, that created quality control, that was used against American companies. Because the sad thing is, I would say, with the exception of the hot rod era, the performance car era, with the exception of that, if you bought a car outside of that, cars was made to break down. I mean, that's really what they did. They've had brakes that would never fail. They've had cars that would never fail. They got cars that could do 1,000,000 miles. But the way the American auto industry did it, they did their research and development, and they would develop parts that would go bad in 2 to 4 years. And this was before leasing. You know, leasing became more of a 90s thing. But cars in America were made to fail in 2 to 4 years. And this is where you see the quality control that was practiced by the Japanese. And these cars were less expensive, and these cars wasn't breaking down as long. And really, it wasn't until America got into 2005 to about 2015 they made better cars. Same thing. You can look at Mercedes. Mercedes cars will sucked. If you get a 95 through a 2008, you buying one of the worst cars ever made. One of the worst cars really ever made was the 2000 through 2008 S-Class. They're most expensive cars, and I've said many times, any state tells you them cars wasn't shit. But if you look at the engineering of those cars, they had what is it called? They had a timing. wasn't the timing belt, but they had a belt that kind of ran everything. GM later kind of adapted something similar, but they was known to go bad on Mercedes. And here you don't spend $80,000 for that car, and this car going bad where you got to get the fucking engine worked on. Remember teaching that to my children. I would drink something, I'd suck their bottle and go, and then they would copy me. Colonel Sanders adopted stop liking KFC. They went away from the original recipe. They quit selling wings too. Did you know that? Colonel Sanders, or Kentucky Fried Chicken, or KFC. The cars were made to break down so the auto industry would make more money. Absolutely. Selling cars and not necessarily, supplier parts. Supplier parts weren't really looked at as enhancing cars or keeping cars going. Supplier parts were looked at as when a car crashed or something to replace it, not fix up your car. I got Kansas to Roy Williams. Kansas Wilt. UNC just won their championship when they beat Coach K. Mike usually gets shamed in big riddles. Okay. UNC already lost to Villanova, so they will win this time. Okay. Maybe. We'll see how it plays out. Yeah, I would say, I'm taking the points. I would say it's unlikely Carolina wins just because it's Davis' first year. Do they want to single him out from Williams, from Dean Smith by winning his first year? Dean Smith was known, couldn't win the big one. He had made it to the championship a couple times. I think twice before he actually won it with Michael Jordan. So he had been singled out a couple times. So he was looked at as one of them who couldn't win the big one. So will Davis get that treatment? Possibly, we will see. I'm rhyming. Possibly, we will see. Well, I'm rushing this shit. I got more beer left, y'all. What do you think about people that say, man, trouble seems to find me? Well, that's bad timing. That's bad timing. Timing is so important in all of your life. That is why, the saying of being on time, but timing is I would say that is another reason to raise your vibration, because you want to hit, as I say many times, when you want to leave your house, a Super Saiyan. And understanding the timing, as I said before, look at you leave your house and you go to work and you catch all the lights. Well, that's not always a bad thing, because there is some kind of timing going there that wants you not to make all the lights. It's some benefit there for you not to make all the lights. Now there's another part of that is where, say you get all the lights and you get lazy and you miss one of the lights. Again, you throwing your timing off. You have to know where, okay, I'm hitting all the lights. I'm going to hit all these goddamn lights. So you can't take your foot off the gas. You can't relax to stay on timing. And so timing is very important. And recognizing it could be a lot of different situations. I can't say, it's just one situation, but timing is so important to avoid the bullshit too. Because a lot of times bad timing will put you smack in the middle of some bullshit. Duke was scripted for a game winner. That dude just missed the free throws. Yeah, he did miss the free throws. I thought when the wife came down that was for them to win. I really did. I really thought that was for them to win when the wife came down. I was surprised. I was really surprised they lost when she was down. Much love to everyone. Hey, Moonrock, thank you for joining. When I say something that rhymes a sentence, I say bars. Bars. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I get that. Definitely. So we'll enjoy it tomorrow. I enjoyed the game this evening. I felt bad for Paige, but Paige was outgunned. It's just a better team. They got killed with rebounds, and they had no answer. And remember, one of their top players, one of their forwards, broke her arm or hand, so she was out too. So Paige was one-handed. But from breaking her leg in December to coming back and playing well in the championship game, I mean, if she goes pro, she ready. She gonna get contracts all around the world because Paige can go. And I think Gino kind of fell into Gino fell into the same thing that Coach K fell into, the very same thing. That kind of we're gonna knock you out and let somebody else shine. I'll say Staley. I don't know if anybody watched the game, but it was like straight up ghetto. It was some straight up ghetto moves. That was kind of funny. Like they was keeping the confetti. They was putting the confetti in her pocket. One of her assistant coaches, they gave her this big giant coach's trophy, and it was just giant crystal ball that no one should handle. You remember a couple years ago in the national championship game when they used to have them crystal football, somebody broke the ball. I don't know if y'all remember that. One of them dropped that crystal football, broke it. So I was looking at Staley. This shit was like huge. It's like damn near a beach ball of fucking crystal. And so she picked it up and she was like, no, I ain't giving it to nobody. It's like, take this big heavy motherfucker back. I don't know if anybody caught that. I was like, I thought that was interesting. KC versus Popeyes. I don't know. The Popeyes, the nearest one is about 15 miles away, so I rarely go to it. I've never had one of these sandwiches. KFC sandwich don't look like. I like what is it? The motherfucking place that's closed on Sundays. I like their chicken better. It's always packed. And then we got Cane's chicken. I don't know if y'all hip to Cane's chicken. Cane's got good chicken. They got the best tea. I don't like them because they don't have barbecue sauce. They call it cane sauce. Fuck your cane sauce. Motherfucker, get some barbecue up in here. No goddamn cane sauce. So I pass on really pretty much of them. Popeyes over KFC, but it better get before it's all gone. What is that shit called? What's the chicken place called on Sunday that's closed? It's just too much of a hassle to go there. I got a hoodie from back in the day, Vegas. I got a hoodie back from Vegas. Okay. That's one of the things I spotted tonight's game. The amount of offensive rebounds that they killed them, especially in the first half. I mean, it was like ridiculous they couldn't rebound. If you charted, because again, coaching, I would chart, but I charted and it was like 6 continuous possessions down. They got the offensive rebound. You can't win like that. And that's in the first half. I mean, they never trailed. I used to eat KFC, but Popeyes lately. Canes be hitting. Yeah, we got a Canes that's close to me. We had one far away and everybody would drive. It wasn't too far away. It was probably like 20 minutes away. But I mean, 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back is quite a trip. What is the motherfucking place that's called Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A. Yeah, we got one of them too. My daughter loves that place. Dawn is the female Alvin Iverson to me. Okay, Lorenzo. She hooped. She definitely hooped. She was quick as shit. Man, she was going by him. Chick-fil-A. Okay, Valerie. Thank you, Valerie. Yeah, they're always bringing me Chick-fil-A. They'll go out and get Chick-fil-A and they'll call me. Well, they gave me an extra sandwich. I'll tell you what, they gave me some sandwiches last week. Chick-fil-A, that shit was like, the cartoons when the motherfucker eats something hot and the flames come out your eyes, out the character's eyes and mouth. Shit, they brought me some shit from Chick-fil-A. That's like, I don't know what they gave us. They some kind of chicken sandwich, and it's just packed in my thing. And I thought you'd eat them, so I ate them. I didn't give them to my son. I ate them both. I didn't eat them at the same time, but I bit into that hot motherfucker. And it was like, woo, spicy. Popeyes sandwiches are good. Okay, the KFC sandwich don't look like that picture though. I go in there and be like, I take a picture of the picture on TV. You know, and I take it in there and I'm like, I want this. No, not that shit you know. I want the shit look crunchy like this. And I'll tell you, I do not like pickles on fucking bread. That's some shit I can't stand. Bread, the taste of bread and pickle together is just, I like pickles by themselves. Like I'll get a burger and I'll eat that shit off. But if I make a mistake of biting some bread and a burger with that pickle, oh, that is some shit that'll make me want to puke. Tomorrow's about Martin Luther King anniversary when he was shot on 4/4. Wonder if it would be bad for black coach. That's a good point. I don't even think I'd have thought about that. Good point. UNC hoodie. Oh, bet. Okay. Yeah, Canes is known for their tea. Yeah, Canes got good tea. Canes got good tea. They got some of the best tea up here. Um, yep, definitely a good catch. Yeah, Canes probably has some of the best tea up here of all the places. Chick-fil-A's addictive. They injected with MSG. I'll tell you, you'd never see them not busy. Sunday's the only day. Spicy chicken. Oh, that shit like, woo, it was extra spicy. I wasn't ready. What they say, he wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. That shit was hotter than I anticipated. I'm more like Iverson, the male version of her, because she's older than him. Okay. Yeah, she was quick. uh, my little brother met Dawn Staley back in the day and tried to holler at her. I said, you know, she plays on the same team you do. I'll tell you, PJ, they had some close-ups of her. She's mighty strong in the face. I'll say that with Staley. Now, I watched her play. I want to say she was Morning's age. I think she was when Morning was the player of the year. She was the female player of the year. But she was very strong in the face. I know two twin sisters, pretty young girls, but like I'm friends on Facebook with one of them, and I'm oh my goodness, this woman is strong in the face. I mean, her jaw is way stronger. I mean, she's got that straight. Oh, I see her and I'm like, whoa. She's probably 5'9", 5'10". Both of them are about the same height, and she be on horses and shit. But I mean, oh, but Dawn Staley, ooh. Yeah, maybe when she was young, but not now. She was kind of rough looking in the face. Uh, yeah, she had bad. Oh yeah, she had bad acne as a young woman. She's probably had to take medication. I'll tell you a story of a family I knew. One of my good friends, matter of fact, he played at Fairleigh Dickerson, and he played in one of the top high school games I ever watched play. I mean, Tony shot down these two 6'8" dudes out of Niles, Michigan. I mean, he handled the game himself, but he played at Fairleigh Dickerson. But him and his family all had keloid really bad, and Tony's acne turned into such bad keloids that it literally looked like his skin literally looked like he had. If you looked at it, it looked like this, like the way the hair is here. That's how his keloids look so bad. And he had to get all that skin removed and his face tightened to really get control of it. But all his family was like that, like all of them. Even I used to mess around one of his cousins, and even her, I mean, she had some on her chest that was, fairly big on her chest. So all his cousins and all of them was kind of like that. Um, but Tony, really a handsome young man. He coached college. Again, as I mentioned, he went to Fairleigh Dickerson. Um, but I think he coaches college basketball, maybe KCC, junior college in Battle Creek. I think he still does the women. He probably coached 10 or 15 years of the women's basketball, Battle Creek Central. But yeah, his acne turned so bad in his skin that, yeah, I felt bad for him. And I used to love playing with him because I took hoopers with me. When I would go play in these tournaments, I took dudes with me. And we played up in Albion, Michigan, and which is Albion's probably 45 minutes from Detroit, like slightly west. But yeah, Tony, shit, you didn't watch. He would definitely hit you in your mug. You had to watch because Tony would give it to you. She had me cracking up laughing. with her laughing and her the little dance. Yeah, absolutely. She was doing the little dance with the trophy and shit. That was kind of hoodish. It's like, okay. Yeah, Dawn had bad acne when she was younger. Oh, absolutely. 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 So, I'm joyful for her, joyful for the program. I mean, they passed it around. Gino will get another term. He probably got the top chick coming to him again. He got two of the top people with Paige and Fudd. Fudd. I think Fudd was the only athlete, the only woman athlete in the major commercial. I mentioned that before, but I think if you look that up, that's probably true. Um, Remember, the Alabama quarterback, he got six figures just for being in the Dr. Pepper commercial. If you guys remember that, he was only in the Dr. Pepper commercial for very, very briefly. Very briefly, very briefly. So, if y'all remember that. So tomorrow should be fun. Tomorrow should be a fun game. I might do a show right after the game. We'll see, because tonight is really my night off. But we'll see. We'll see. And I'm not gonna go too late because I gotta for freaking be in that hospital early in the morning. I wake up and I start to yawn, and it looks like it's a mighty nice day. Plus it's Friday and I'm gonna get paid. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I was about to get into it, man. Tennessee hasn't been the same since Pat Summitt left. Ooh. And she pretty much died of dementia and Alzheimer's. They tried to hide it and let her keep coaching, but I told a story a week or two ago. I've got one of my teammates, and one of my teammates didn't really play college football. He was on the team, but what you have to understand is when you don't play, you become a practice dummy. And that is the dark side of football, which is called the scout team. And you hit every day. Like me as receiver, there was days where I wouldn't get tackled. I mean, it just first team, we don't get tackled. We get tackled in the games. But when you play scout team, that's why I only played receiver scout team, because I knew I only played, like, it was offense. It was the scout team was mostly freshmen against the first team defense. And motherfuckers, you got all these brothers that want to kill you in practice and don't, knock you out. They'll sit over there and look at you. You got knocked the fuck out. So I was like, they tried to put me a running back. You know what I would do? I would get the ball and run into the dirt. And they're like, we're going to make you run. I'm like, I would rather run than run into all them motherfuckers. Now, you want to throw it to me out there? I'm down for that. But I am not going to take a direct T formation handoff from him to run at all them that want to kill me. I'm not stupid. They're like, we're going to make you run. I'm like, you don't have really enough people. You need me in here. So get who wants to play running back? Not I, not it. It wasn't me. But, I want to say, my friend, my teammate. So to finish this thought. So if you play on the scout team, you hit every day. And so I'm pretty sure my friend's dementia is caused by being a practice team player. He was my G. I remember one game, he had problems with his shoulder in high school. And I remember his shoulder got knocked out of place. And I saw him and I saw everybody around him, went up and I'm like, what's going on, man? He's like, yeah, it's just my shoulder again. I'm like, okay. And they popped that shit in place and he didn't flinch. And later he had to live his life with a pin in his shoulder to keep it in place. But that shit hurts. I've had a little shoulder issue. That's some painful shit. And that nigga didn't flinch. They popped his shit back in place. Like his shit. Imagine your shoulder being right here. Like this right here is over here. Do you feel me? His shit, this ball right here was over here. And they pow. And he didn't flinch. He didn't flinch. I was like, this motherfucker's tough. But now, he's got dementia so bad that he's bedridden. And what happens is this is the thing where acupuncture helps your meridians getting in touch and telling your body to still work, because what happens when you get Alzheimer's is your meridians shut down. So all the worlds inside of you don't know how to continue. I mean, it really wipes that out, what's inside. And so you can't even, your body even forgets to breathe, forgets to function. Like he can't walk. And this dude younger than me, he's probably just turned 59. I think January he turned 59. So he's suffering. I'm wondering which riddle they're along with tomorrow. The Birds and winning both championship, or the black coaches from the Carolinas winning it. Yeah, you might have a thing with the Birds. Remember they put the Birds in one car in the car commercial. Remember that? The Birds was in the car. In the car commercial. That's funny. My little sister used to get her camp and her Sweet 16 party past Summit, wished her happy birthday. Ah, okay. Probably because of her clear her face up. How? Yeah, that was cool of her though. That was cool. Little beautiful things that people go out their way to do. Fucking big ass head. The last time I heard from Larry Jordan, he called when my daughter was born. I talked to Keith, and then Larry ended up calling me and saying, hey, congratulations. That was what, 10? Big head ass Larry. Larry got a big ass head. He what, 5'8", 5'9". I would say stretching to 5'10", but that nigga's all head. He is all head. But I'll say, of all the leapers I played with, that motherfucker I like playing with Larry. And then pressing motherfuckers, they used to hate seeing us because we would just press people, and we were both so quick that it was just like it wasn't even fair. We would just quit pressing people because we would dominate it. When we played in the mirror, we would dominate so much. I'm like, come on, let's get these motherfuckers. We would play the whole first half, motherfuckers couldn't get the ball down court, throwing the shit away, and just me and Larry pressing just together. We would just riddle and shake the hell out of people, just laugh about it. But I remember I tipped one, and the dude slapped me when I tipped it. But he slapped me, and he tried to, tip it, and I beat him tipping it. I was like, I tip dunked it, and I saw another dude like hit my arm, but yet he pushed toward the basket. I'm like, no, punk, that was mine. He's like, I was up there with you, but he was. Larry played in, they had a league that was 6'4" or 6'5" and under. It was a Chicago team, a team in Chicago that Larry played in. So, because some people were saying they should start that back up, but they had that. It was called the World Basketball League. I was part of another group that was trying to put a World Basketball League in, and we were trying to bring teams in Japan. There was a team in Australia, and the biggest thing was trying to, the time element, the different times and how people's bodies was going to adjust. But yeah, and it's just, you get involved in all these things that look like promising and stuff, and looks like it's going to happen, and next thing you know, it's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. And I tell you, Kellogg's cereal. I've talked about this before. It was a semi-pro football team I was involved with, and the guy who ran the semi-pro football team wanted to bring a pro basketball team or semi-pro basketball team to Battle Creek. Kellogg's has an arena in Battle Creek that sits about 8 to 10,000 people. A lot of the regional games are there for high school. So it can accommodate a nice little crowd. And Kellogg's was going to do all the marketing for my team, and was going to give me the facility for free. And the only thing you had to do was you had to pay $100 in, and you had to buy a clock. You had to buy 2 clocks, and I had them. And we couldn't get enough people. We couldn't get enough teams to sign up. Yeah. And later, there was a team called the Battle Creek Knights, and Kellogg's gave them the same deal. So timing is everything. I can't wear them big headphones like Beats by Dre. Them headphones would have me. Oh, I don't know how they wear them over earphones. I barely like wearing this other one. I mean, this shit is just burning me the fuck up. But headphones, yeah. I can't wear that shit either. That shit make me hot as hell. Did I miss something? Okay, here we go. Larry Bird and Sue Bird in the Capitol commercial. She was also on the Blue Bloods commercial with Vince, Leitner, and Booker, and all blue Final Four. Yeah, that's a good point. Great catch. Yeah, you're right. I agree. Spence or you guess? Yeah, I'm going with Spence. The Spence clone. I don't know what happened to the Spence that fell out the car, but yeah, I'm going with Spence. I ain't gonna pay for that shit though. I gotta see the app to get it. Um, Spence Crawford. Spence Crawford matchup needs to happen. Yeah. Crawford's fucked up business is why it ain't gonna happen. Crawford signed another stupid ass contract with Bob Arum, which is gonna limit him. So you can't feel sorry for a fighter if he keeps making the same mistake. So stupid, where you do the same stupid thing that doesn't benefit you. So yeah, I don't feel sorry for Terrence Crawford, and it's gonna freaking cost him. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I'm glad you remind me so I can get the app and watch the fight because I don't be paying for that shit. You ain't got to pay for that shit. They got app on top of app on top of app. You can watch that shit for free. I watch all the movies. I did go to see Batman. I do like what Weirdo Pete said last night. They had a rapper talking about short ass movies, and I appreciate a movie that's an hour and a half. That Batman shit, we went in there at fucking 10 o'clock and we ain't come out till like 1:10, 1:15 in the morning. Because like on Tuesdays it's $5 no matter how you watch it, what screen is all $5. So we watched the extra sound, that kind of thing. I heard that Morbius was trash. And then that movie with Horseface, what's her name? She was married to Jesse James. Her and Brad Pitt have a movie. And I talked to a friend last night. She said that movie wasn't shit either. So, but Morbius wasn't good. Okay. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I, in general, don't like movies. I'll give movies 10 or 15 minutes and yeah, I'll turn them off. I'll be like, I got the, what's the shit you plug into the TV? And I got all the apps. I get all the movies. So I don't like stupid. I have very little patience with stupid. A lot of people think stupid is funny. I don't think stupid is funny. I don't. When the characters are stupid, that just kills it for me. I don't like watching stupid people. And a lot of movies are stupid. I don't like watching slow movies. I want to go see action. I went to the party for a different kind of action. The next thing I know, I started doing the Michael Jackson. Don't nobody know that song that's listening. That's some 80s shit. I know y'all don't know that song. Valerie said I was planning on going to see it. Fire Stick and Roku. I got the Google, whatever, the Google shit you plug into the TV. My son's got that, and I gotta do it through my phone and watch it like that. Well, I said I wasn't gonna go on terribly long. I gotta get up early, and it's still damn snowing because I got something else going on, and gotta do it in the damn snow. I'm not very happy about it. Yeah, a lot of dumb, quirky movies. Yeah, like that damn movie, The Avengers, 3 hours for no reason. Like I hate a movie where I can go to the bathroom and come back, and it's on the same scene. I mean, that's how slow some movies be. You go to the bathroom, you come back, and it's on the same scene. Some bullshit. But let me get the divination. But again, this is called The Bloody Shirt, Terror After Appomattox. Talks about a town that no longer exists that they was able to murder. So, unarmed melanated people. And that's see, that's the critical race theory. They want to eliminate that they was murderers. They don't want to know the debauchery that they did to take this country. People, and I've got on that weird Max dude down in Australia saying, how Australians murdered a bunch of indigenous people, but not more than what they did in America. I mean, not only did they murder indigenous people, they murdered our trees. I mean, you got two Europeans sitting outside of a damn tree taking a picture with a 400-year-old tree. Before this person's whole bloodline came, that tree was left alone for 400 years. And here's this European that ain't even, he's cutting it down. He's stupid. He's not, he's only benefited from a small check. As I said, there's a house that I went to in North Carolina. Instead of cutting the tree down, they built a house right with the tree in the middle of the house. Now, it was an orgy in the house, but still, that's not the point. The point is, they loved nature so much, they built the tree in the goddamn house. Atrium, is that what you call it? They had an atrium over it. And then every room kind of went off the tree, and then you had the stairway. Nice house, nice house. He played pro ball for the Carolina Cougars and St. Louis Hawks. First name was Joe. Yeah, the Marvel movies be long, no doubt. I'd rather have volume for real. Max Kagan, yeah, Max Kagan. You know, I always get him. I'm like, yeah, you know, I did. Like, I was always getting on him. I'm like, come on now, Max. You know, you come from all them baby killers. You know, you Australians is some killing motherfuckers. You're like, well, I don't. You know, he was sticking to the mud flood shit. But through Max, I caught his ass because mud flood is. That's what I don't understand. And it's a sister I follow. Janelle, what is her name? Janet. I'm friends with her on Facebook too, and she's on YouTube. But she believes, you know, again, that mud flood shit is Aryan. It is to back them. It is Aryan information to make these motherfuckers that ain't ancient ancient. That's all they keep trying to come up with. Atlantis, nobody believed in Atlantis. You motherfuckers ain't ancient, so they came up. Well, you know, you motherfuckers too dumb to dig up these big houses. Have you ever seen the redwood trees up in Oregon? No, I've never been to Oregon. I have been to see some of the ones that start with S, some of those big trees, but never the ones in Oregon. But that was everywhere. You know, we had big old trees everywhere, and that's why the other thing about this being an illusionary world, there's nothing. Well, you have to look at it like this: either they cut all the trees down, and then in the last 30 years started regrowing trees when they found out that they good topsoil would disappear if they didn't grow trees. And that's where you see with the dust bowl. And the dust bowl was even affected up here. So if you look around, even, and I've been in the mountains, I've been in all the mountains. I've been in the mountains in the Smoky Mountains. I've been in the Appalachian Mountains. I've been in the mountains going through the motherfucking Pennsylvania. They go all the way to DC. I've been in them mountains. I've been out in the Pacific Mountains, and none of that shit looks ancient. None of it looks ancient. And so that's the other part of the illusion. Why does this not even look old as what my great grandparents lived? It just doesn't look as old. It doesn't. It doesn't look that old. We're looking at 20, 30-year-old trees mostly. That's what you see. In my lifetime, we're looking at mostly 20. It's like it's a tree that's older than me that lives by me, but that's the rarity. That's the rarity. And so that shows you this shit can't be as old if there's only one part of the country they can point to where there's old trees. But keep in mind, they went to war against the trees too. Unc, you know some women on my Facebook. Okay. If giant trees like that, does that mean we had giant humans too? Well, I guess the giant humans kind of prey into the same kind of thing they try to say about the dinosaurs, that the oxygen level was different. But yes, even if you look at the hero twins, if you look at the hero twins' father and uncle that could play the sacred ball game and make enough noise to awake the people in the underworld. So we're talking about very giant people. There's no explanation on how a million years ago the copper mines in northern Michigan was mined. They can't explain. They can't explain it, how old that stuff is. They can't explain how Michigan copper is found throughout America. They can't explain how Michigan copper is found in Quebec. Now, that does go a little bit into the bigger Americans, but Yes, there were bigger Americans at one time. It pretty much is known. Um, I think the biggest charted, we could look at about 32 feet. Yeah. And you can imagine the boat that a 32-foot being could build and how far he could sail. Probably even bigger than that. I mean, the trees once went into space. So that's how big the trees used to be. So, yeah. But I mean, you see remnants. We still see big people. Yeah. So, yeah, there were bigger people. Some even point to the mound builders that some of the mounds that were built was a bigger race of people. I think DeSoto, you look at his books, he talks about hugging the coast and seeing bigger people. I think you look at Tuscaloosa. Tuscaloosa, Alabama is named after a chief that I think again is tied up with DeSoto, and he was 7'8", something like that. So we see the remnants. In Mississippi, it's against the law to cut down magnolia trees because it's our state tree. Good point. Hmm. So yes, it was. I'm a little bit tapped into that consciousness a little bit. Yeah, but as as I've told you before, the indigenous way of using the trees was when they built homes. The woodland Indians would build homes. They would find felled trees. So they wouldn't need to cut a live tree down as we saw the Europeans do. The Europeans didn't give a fuck. They cleared the shit, burned the stumps, and they built, their cabins out of that instead of respecting the land. Um, that is why I think the Dust Bowl got them back. I think that's why we're caught in some ways of what's going on today with nature fighting their asses back. And it's hard to imagine that a flood could kill so many people and the shit being eviler as it is today. The Soto base is the name for the well-known project development here in the city. Oh, interesting. So, and again, it's, my rap ain't aimed at any single person. It's just that is why they hate critical race theory, because they don't want a generation to know how bloodthirsty, in general, Europeans did to take this country. And this country was taken under conquest. And then the lie of slavery, when in fact it was prisoners of war. I mean, you can't look at slavery any other way. It was prisoners of war. You were enslaved because of war, and by our own people. I mean, if you study Pontiac and you study Tecumseh, especially Tecumseh's put it out there. It's like, look, motherfuckers, if we do not join together, and again, it's the old Roman divide and conquer. And we had a lot of these. It was natives, not just indigenous, but natives. That Cherokee is one branch that fought for the British and the English. I'll take it back. The English from the very beginning joined their side from the very beginning, fighting their own people. Fought Pontiac, fought Tecumseh, and Tecumseh was the last sane voice that said, "Hey, this is our last stand. If we do not stop these people now, we won't exist." And that's what you see today. So that's what we get. Well, tomorrow the energy must be from the west, isn't it? Yes. So tomorrow's color, so is Chechen. The common name is monkey. Qualities: innocence, spontaneity, healing the inner child, humor, artistry, monkey, trickster, disruption, transparency, the divine child. Symbols are dolphin, monkey. Number is 11. Dissonant structure, aqua blue. So if you got some aqua blue, aqua blue. The color tomorrow is aqua blue. And aqua blue and sky blue are pretty close in color. This might be a tell. Herbs are raspberries or mint. Flowers are daisy. Flower essence is zenna, laughter. Scents are cinnamon, orange. Stones are aquamarine, blue fluorite, topaz. Water element, directions out the west. Shadow wisdom is being too serious, issues of speaking your truth, misuse of humor, insensitivity, sarcasm. Okay, not sure what that was. Um, Transformation, though. Listen up, speak your truth directly, be vulnerable, sensitive, open hearted, accept life's disruptions with good humor. Recess your natural sensitivity by healing the wounding of your inner child. Harmonic wisdom is humor. The mantra is smile incentively with hands on the heart. With spontaneity, place thumbs at the ears while wiggling your fingers. So you smile with your hands on your heart, and then you place your thumbs at your ears. Okay. And then the meditation is I am the crystal of sunlight and laughter. Affirmation I am innocent, open hearted, transparent, divine child. So maybe we'll get to win with this aqua blue tomorrow. I'm taking the 4. I'm taking the 4 for sure. I'm taking the 4 for sure. UConn 11-1 in championships game. They won their first. This was their first title loss. Yeah, his first title loss, and John Wooden never lost one. I'm happy South Carolina won. They deserved it. They did. They did. They hooped too. They hooped. They dominated. They just win. They dominated. That reminds me of the Chinese epic hero son Wukong's, the Monkey King, in the Chinese epic known as the Journey to the West. Yeah, I love the Monkey King. I had a statue of the Monkey King. I do love the Monkey King as well. I think the Monkey King again is another copy of the Hero Twins, because in one situation the Hero Twins turn into monkeys. So yeah. Silence is my prayer. Meditation is my prayer. Simplicity is my enlightenment. Very nice. Let me correct myself. Magnolia or live oak cypress tree is not illegal to cut, but it's regulated. You need to go to the town clerks and get permits. Okay, okay. South Carolina played aggressive. Oh my goodness! But they killed them on the boards. They killed them the first game too, but they killed them on the boards, and that was the difference. And then with Fudd only scoring 3, you got Williams. There's a 4. Fudd averaging 12, 13 points a game. You had William averaging 14 points a game. Both starters. Towards I think 2 minutes left, Williams the starter. She hadn't scored. So, that's 20 some points right there. And they stayed down. The closest they got it was 8. I think halftime they was down 8. They was either down 11 or down 8. I think they was down 8 at halftime. And that was the best run they made, was right before halftime. And yeah, didn't go good. Well, I started early. So how long I've been going? Okay, not quite as long as I've been the last couple of days, but please forgive me. Again, I don't know if I'm going to come on tomorrow night. We'll see. It's normally my night off. So I'm going to read Mora. It all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland. They knew that they had an exact number of years and days before they would disappear off the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is the Milky Way. Separating cycles is they knew how to operate in the Milky Way. And all my relations out there, anyone who watches this, remember that, I am another yourself. This is an old Mayan saying. And so therefore, treat those like they are you, or another yourself. So as you lay in your creation ball field, rest well. May nothing bother you. May your dreams be solidly protected. No attachment, no interference. May your rest be pleasant. And my final word is, love just is. Love just is. It has no opposite. It has no equal. It just is. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your main man from Japan. Oh, meditating my altar, my enlightenment, my mantras, my raw force, outstanding. So, you know, this is, I'll say this, my meditations today have just been outstanding. As I said, to be able to freaking um, use the czar and think about JFK and then czar into that motherfucker, that shit, it was kind of scary that the shit was so easy to do. That shit was like, God damn, I can do this with anybody in history. I'm like that TV show. But it's just practice, you know, practice. Now, doing that ain't going to make me rich, you know, but spiritually it does. So thank you, everybody. I applaud everybody. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, you know, listening to an old pimp that tries to be real about it. And thank you for the support. I appreciate each and every one that comes and checks me out consistently. I thank you. Again, no Probably Responsible Daddy Hour. Everywhere's on spring break, it seems like. So my daughter's on spring break all week. So we just hanging out, sleeping in late. Well, I don't get to sleep in late. I got to go in there and let this lady on my Achilles. She has this metal. She has something like this but metal, and she goes on my Achilles where, you know, my scar is like 6-7 inches. No, my scar is probably about 12 inches long on my Achilles where they replaced it. She's like, does that hurt? You ask me again, I'm about to choke you. It hurts. It's like, does it hurt? You keep talking to me, you're going to see how much it hurt. And you know, I had to get the old cheese grater out for my feet because I got them old men feet. You know, when I was young and played ball, I got blisters on my toes, and something happened where I get the old man feet. So I constantly got to get cheese graters and, you know, scrub that dead skin off the back of my feet. Because, you know, it's not very pimpy to be in bed with somebody and you rub their leg and you like cut their leg up where they need stitches and shit. You know, because you got them rough ass feet. You know, women don't want rough feet like that, y'all. So get you a cheese grater, put lotion. Like if your feet is out of pocket, what you do is get the cheese grater, put lotion on them, and then throw your socks up over the lotion. Starts coming back. But cheese graters on the feet keeps from having old man cracked ass feet. You know, women, like men, look at the boomerang feet, you know, the hammer toe, you know, when women wear shoes and they be giving them the hammer toes and shit. Well, you know, women don't like the old man cracked heels either. You know, they be like, are you Dracula or something? Why are your feet so cracked? Well, you know, I just never noticed it. Well, you need to notice it if you want to keep laying naked with me and them nasty ass feet. So keep that in mind, men, especially you young men. Keep that in mind. So moisturize. Well, y'all, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. And I am your super funky host, Big Pontiac. See you guys Thursday morning. If I don't come on after the game. And I might do a slight show after the game tomorrow. So, till we meet again, say less.